Hi everyone, welcome back to Lavendaire. It's Aileen. Today I wanted to share a little exercise that I got from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It's called Imaginary Lives. So this is just something that's fun to spark your creativity, spark some inspiration in you, especially if you're the type that's passionate about so many different things. So the question is simple. It's just, if you had 5 imaginary lives, what would you do? Come up with at least 5 imaginary lives. Of course, you can come up with more if you want. I have like 10 or more. But yeah, it's just a way to brainstorm, if I got to live out all of these different lives, what else would I do with my life? So personally, if I got to live out imaginary lives, I would be an interior designer because I really like beautiful spaces. And one thing I really admire Ami Song from Song of Style. She's a fashion blogger, but I think she's an interior designer or architect by trade, and I think that's super cool. Like if you watch her videos on her house renovation and her spaces, they're just gorgeous, and I think it's so cool to be able to like create a beautiful space. Like I just like that. Another thing I could do is probably be a photographer. I love taking photos. I think it's similar to doing videos, so yeah. Recently I've been getting into flowers, so another like ideal imaginary life I would live is to be like a florist for like huge luxury events, like not even weddings, but like celebrity red carpets where you have like giant floral installations and very like high class stuff. Like I would love to do something like that. I think that's cool. That also goes with like creating pretty spaces. Another thing I would definitely do is be a musical theater performer. I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to act, and I really like theater, and I think it's so fun to like perform live. So that's something that is up there. I would also be a film colorist. These are the people who color grade films. Like they don't do the shooting or anything. It's all post-production where all you do is you just change the colors of the scenes to change the mood. I think that's super cool. I love color grading, and I guess that's kind of what I do with YouTube already, but like just to do it for films, like I think that would be really cool. Another thing I love is skincare, so it'd be super cool to be like a skincare chemist. I'm not sure if that's the real job title, but like whoever's like making those serums, lotions, face masks, I just think that's super cool to like concoct things and also source like organic, high quality ingredients for your products and stuff. Like that would be a pretty fun job. Lastly, I love hotels and resorts and just the clean, fresh, luxury feeling that those places give. So an ideal life would maybe be like a hotel designer or like build a bunch of like hotels and resorts. Like how cool would that be? Actually, I was like considering going to hospitality school when I was like applying for college, but in the end I decided not to go to like Cornell for hospitality. I decided to go to USC for business, and I do not regret it. Like it's fine. I don't need to do hotels. I love what I do now. So if you want to join in on this exercise, I'd love to hear what your imaginary lives are. So make a list, give me at least 5. Comment below with your 5 or more imaginary lives. And then once you're done making your list, look at each imaginary life and ask yourself, is there something that I could be doing in my current life that is related or similar to that imaginary life? I don't mean pursuing it as a career, I mean doing something for fun. So one of my imaginary lives was to be like a florist for big events. Well, I don't have to be that, but what I can do is I can go into my backyard, clip some roses, and put together a little bouquet for myself. Little things like that. Also with like skincare chemists, I can totally like research and learn about skincare, test them out on my own, which I already do already. And most of my things in my imaginary lives I already do with YouTube, like color grading, taking photos, and designing spaces. I mean, actually for something like that interior designer imaginary life, I would probably recommend spending a day to redecorate your room or rearrange your space. Things like that where you can kind of dabble a little bit into all of those imaginary lives that you're interested in, because it does reflect who you are. It reflects what you're capable of. And it doesn't mean like you're not allowed to do it because you're heading on this one path. Like, definitely there are no rules to life. You could be pursuing one career, but you can be pursuing a lot of different hobbies on the side, or just pursue whatever little things bring you joy in your day. It doesn't have to be so serious. Just think about it as like just a way to live out all your little passions and stuff. Like I said, this is like perfect for people who have a lot of interests, a lot of passions, because it's a good way for you to, explore what else you're possibly curious about and what else you could be good at, what else brings you joy. So I highly encourage you guys to try to do something this week related to one of your imaginary life. So definitely write the list, comment below, but this week your challenge is to pick one imaginary life and do something similar to that vein. All right, I hope you liked today's video. Let me know if you'd like more videos similar to this. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do, and also click the bell if you want to get notified of my new videos. All right, have a beautiful day. Love you all. See you next time. Bye.